Good evening, guys, and happy Monday to all of your sunshiny faces, guys. It has been a very productive Monday for me. I don't know, I was just feeling like really motivated, I guess, to get stuff done today. I got a ton of uploading done for today. I ended up editing a pretty good amount too. And I also ended up getting dishes done. I did like multiple loads of laundry. I actually think I'm maybe possibly almost caught up, if not caught up with the laundry right now. And I also did dishes. Like, I'm pretty much caught up with dishes too. I ended up making BLTs for dinner, which was also awesome. Like, I have my meal plan already set up for this week, which I feel like was a little bit more sometimes when I am not I don't know, like when I'm just kind of not very motivated, the meal plans are just kind of lacking a little bit. Like, it's just basic, I guess, and it's like easy-ish sort of stuff to make, but when I am more motivated, I tend to prepare for, or like plan out like bigger things, which I do normally tend to stick to better. Which, if I end up giving myself bigger goals to get done, I don't know, just like bigger or more complex goals, I guess, I do tend to get those done. Like, I tend to stick to it then and get those type of things done, so hopefully I will. But I did that. I also set out my planner for today, which is also how I know that I got so much stuff done, was because I have my planner. And I have like a whole bunch of stuff that I actually checked off pretty much almost everything for today. The other thing that I wanted to get done, which I didn't completely finish yet, was finishing my Meijer list. I did go through maybe half or so of the coupons that are like in the app, the M-Perks coupons, and went through them just to see if there was any like sales that matched up with them, which normally doesn't take me all of too long, but it's like a decent amount of time. The thing was, I was actually, when I was editing, I was working on that at the same time, so but I didn't completely finish it. That was another thing that I sort of got done for today. And I lately too have not been doing it on Mondays, which I want to. Like, I want to try and get the grocery lists done earlier in the week instead of like waiting until the day before and then I'm like rushing to try and make sure I get them done. Instead, like I said, I'd like to try and get them done ahead of time. But that, and then also to like the like Jewel stuff and like Tony's and Caputo's, those sales, those start like on like Wednesday, I think. Like the ads I think are available on possibly Tuesday, but the sales actually start on Wednesday. And the same thing too, like Meijer's start on Sunday, so I could have been working on the list yesterday too, and then like finished it today. And then I never really want to go on a Monday though, just because it is kind of hard to like try and make sure that I have the list done. And like, what if I have a really busy Sunday or something like that, and then Monday I just kind of am getting into the back into the groove kind of like the weekdays, and like schedule stuff and things like that. I never want to set that expectation for myself, because then if I don't meet it, then I'll be like more disappointed. So I think that like planning on finishing the list and like getting the list done by Monday is good. But then Tuesday, we normally don't go because my parents like do date nights on Tuesdays, and then Wednesday would be normally the earliest that I could really go to Meijer, like I said, unless we ended up going on Monday, which I mean, I can figure out too. Like, if I make the list on Sunday, I can obviously be like, oh, you know, we're good to go on Monday, but I never want to plan on that. So I think the plan is always to go on like Wednesdays, and then I can finish my Jewel and my Jewel and Tony's Caputo's list on Wednesday, and then we can go on like Thursday or Friday or Saturday or whatever, or not, yeah, to Jewel and Tony's and Caputo's. So like, well, my dad goes normally to Tony's and Caputo's, so it's just whenever he ends up going, and then we can go to Jewel again like on Saturday or Sunday or whatever. The other thing that I did was I did get a good amount of my room kind of cleaned and picked up. I'll be honest, guys, I kind of like the less clutter that I have, even though this thing over here is a lot of clutter, honestly, and it's not, honestly, it's not too bad, but it is kind of cluttered. And I still, again too, I keep saying this, I need to get my like order the stuff on from IKEA that I still need to get. Like, I wanted to get the organizers, I want to get the shelves for in here. I actually might get a second Alex drawer also, because, and maybe I'll explain that to you guys at some other point, because things worked out a little bit differently with my desk. I am going to, I possibly might end up, and it was a smaller desk actually than I originally had anticipated, but I might get another one. I might get like a taller one though also too. So I don't know. I do have to figure that out for sure, but I kind of might have space for it. I just want to, again, see and kind of measure things out and gauge the space, I guess, in here. But so again, there's like that stuff I still have to do, but like the clutter back here, there's not really that much clutter, and it has been so nice because like I can actually move things to like clean and like dust and like, you know, on like my flat surfaces. My desk also too has very minimal like clutter on it, and like I said, I have been loving that because it makes it way easier to clean, and just like for dusting purposes and things like that. Like with my old desk, I used to have so much just like cluttery type stuff on there, and because it was kind of small also for the space, like I like that my monitors are mounted too, so like I don't have to like clean around like the stands and stuff like that. Like it's mounted to the wall, so like my whole desk for the most part is pretty clear, you know, and so it's a lot easier to like clean off on my desk and stuff like that. And again, with my old desk, it was like difficult because there was so much, like there was like, you know, like there still is like the same amount of stuff almost that's on the desk, but it also was just, it attracted a lot more, I think. And also again, because it was smaller, like this small amount of cluttery things, like, you know, like pen, you know, like cups and like, you know, my light and like that kind of thing, it just felt though like it took up so much more space because it was such a much smaller desk. And again, it wasn't, you know, I didn't have the monitor mounted to the, you know, like to the wall or anything. It was like on the desk, so it was just more stuff on the desk, so it was harder to clean and clean around. And like I said, it did tend to attract a lot more like clutter. However, I will say I still don't have all of my stuff out of the attic, although it does make me question, like, if I haven't needed it in the last 2 months, how much of this stuff up there is stuff that I actually use on like a regular basis that I need. However, I will again make the argument that like most of the stuff that's up there anyway is like books and things like that would be on the shelves that I don't have yet. So and like things too that like go in like my drawers and that kind of stuff that like again is stuff that I use, but like I haven't really used that often, and I've found, I don't know, kind of other ways around needing the stuff that I know is up there. Like some of it was like desk clutter stuff though too, and I'm like, do I want that down here? Because I've been doing really good with not having some of it. So again, a lot of it though, it's not even too that it's like it's clutter or like I just need to get like the bins and the organizers too for a lot of the stuff that I want to have anyway, because I'm like, I still have so much space. Like even being in here, I'm realizing like, oh, you know, like it's not that bad, like I still have room. But I guess the thing with the organizers is as well, like for example, the stuff with the organizers, like down here in these cube organizers, the thing is that I want to have things in there, but they actually have organizers that fit those specific, like the cube organizers. And I want to get the little like different bins and things like that fit in there, because I want to be able to take them out so that I can still like dust and clean on it, and kind of store more things. Those ones in particular, I don't want like out and displayed and stuff like that. Those for the most part, I want stuff that like I don't want to see, if that makes sense. Like it would be stuff that I would put in a drawer, because it's not, there's so much of the stuff is like under my desk too though, because of the way the L is of my desk, like the way it's connected. So like 4 of the cubes are actually under my desk, which is where I have like my albums and stuff like that, and it's stuff that like I don't use completely regularly, and I don't have much of a problem going under my desk to get it when I do like use it. But it's like that kind of stuff. So like I do have like extra storage things, and like you guys might have seen, like I have paper down there. I also have like extra candles and stuff like that, but like they're in shoe boxes. So like I want to get organizers that all match and not have them in shoe boxes or just stacks of paper, you know. It's it's like extra like printer paper, like that kind of stuff. So it's like, yeah, I just like to get like an organizer so everything looks nice and organized, and it's easier to again clean when you can just take like the bin or the organizer, whatever it is, off of the shelf. Then it's easier to clean the shelf and like the dust. And like I said, the dog hair is the number one thing. This little guy right here is the number one problem. He's like passed out too. But like again too, compared to having to take each individual thing off of the shelf in order to clean and dust it. Because honestly, the one thing I like told myself, I was like, Kayla, if you were going to do white in here, because opposed to my other room, my furniture was not, other than my bed, the rest of the furniture in there was not really white. And so you didn't really notice the black dog hair and stuff like that. But I knew coming into this, I was like, Kayla, if we're gonna go with white, it has got to be cleaned and dusted, like, you know, several times a week. Because, you know, again, I will like still wipe like my desk off like just by hand and stuff like that if I see dog hair, but like I will move everything. Like I said, that's why when there's less clutter, it's easier to like pick my keyboard up and move it and clean underneath my keyboard and clean underneath my speakers and my mouse pad and like that kind of stuff, because there's not that much clutter and it makes it a lot easier to clean underneath there. But the thing is, again too, after like literally a day, you start seeing the dog hair again. So it is like a, you know, almost every other day at least that I pretty much have to dust. And like normally I'm the type of person that's like a once a week duster. It's like an almost every other day type of thing. But with minimal clutter, it's not that difficult to do. And it doesn't have to be super like deep cleaning or anything like that. I just normally kind of just take a duster and just go over it, and then I vacuum my floors. And the same thing too with my carpet. Like we have to get a washable rug, because again too, if it's white and the dogs come running in here, like they already have, there's one little spot on here that has got like, clearly they probably ran in here with wet muddy feet, and it's weird though, because it's like this tiny little spot on the carpet. But I knew if I was gonna get a white rug, I was like, it has to be washable, because again, with the dogs, and they get muddy, and you know, again, I was like, I have to, you know, be able to wash it, because I'm not gonna get a white rug if I can't wash it. So I did also, and I've also again to vacuum that like every single day, because you will see the dog hair on it, and like I honestly need to vacuum it twice a day. But it also depends on how much time I spend in my room, because if I'm not in here with the dogs, like if I was like, oh, like during football, if we were out in the living room like watching TV in the living room, like my room looked like it had not been touched like at all. Again, if I spend the entire day in my room though, and the dogs are in here with me and they're kicking up dog hair and stuff like that, you see it immediately, again, on the white furniture, which again, it makes me really wonder too, like how much is on the other stuff and the other surfaces that like you don't see, or you can't really tell because it's not white, because it's so contrasting. But it's like, it's so obvious when you have like white like furniture, or you know, again, like a white countertop or white desk, or you know, again, white dresser, like all that kind of stuff, how noticeable it is. Which is, like I said, why when you have like darker furniture and you're like, oh, it's okay, it'll hide the dirt or whatever, it's like, yeah, but now you realize like how dusty and dirty things get and how quickly it happens when you have, again, like the white or light colored, like, you know, furniture and things like that. So it's funny too, because I have this little like doormat type rug that I have in front of my door, and I've had it for a while. And I've washed it, vacuumed it and stuff like that, but you can still even tell how dingy it is compared to the new white rug that I got for like the main floor. And I'm like, wow, that is still like, you know, because I was like, it still looks really nice and white and clean and everything like that. But it's like, yeah, I've had it for actually several years. So it was also from IKEA. I think my mom got it when we went to St. Louis, and that was like 3 or 4 years ago, I think. And then I got it, she ended up using it for a little while, and then she gave it to me, and then I've had it since then. And yeah, it's like I said, it's one of those things where I'm like, wow, that has started to look, you know, kind of dingy. So that's why I'm like, I have to make sure that I take really good care of like whatever white furniture I have in here, because I know that it will look very, you know, again, noticeable very quickly. But that was one of the big things that I did today, was got a lot of like cleaning and I guess deep cleaning type stuff done for the most part, because like, and just a lot of stuff done though I did for today. Like I said, I did a lot of laundry because I want to make sure I get my bedding washed either tomorrow or Wednesday. So I wanted to make sure I didn't have like people's clothes that needed to be washed before I could wash my bedding and stuff. So anyways though, I'm going to take a shower and get to bed. I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.